Welcome to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Jalen. We're doing our Louisiana Ragin Cajun Baseball preview versus James Madison. Ragin Cajun Softball is going to be taking on Coastal this weekend. Currently, right now, they're both in games against LSU. Ragin Cajun Baseball is playing against LSU right now in Alex Box, and it's not going well for the Cajuns right now. It's 9-2. LSU is leading here. If you asked me last week who I thought was going to win this, LSU was overwhelmingly going to be the pick amongst everybody here, basically, because even though they dropped a series against Texas, LSU, they have rebounded against the Cajuns for sure here. And on the softball side of things, it was looking good for the Cajuns. They were up 4-0 in the bottom of the third, but when we flipped the half inning over to the top of the fourth, it is now 5-4 LSU. LSU has scored 5 runs. Hodge hit a 2-run home run, and 5-4, and the Cajuns are trying to find a way to slow them down here. So that's the more competitive game right now. We got them both pulled up here. We'll give y'all live stat updates as we go through this live stream here. So, I'll make a little camera, not really a camera thing, but a little display on the screen so that way y'all can see the stats as they update them in real time here. So I'm done talking for right now. So Jalen, take it away. What you think about these 2 games going on so far?
Hey, Chief, do we really have to display what's going on right now? Because both Cajun teams are losing right now. But I know we gotta keep it fair. We gotta keep it fair. But in all seriousness though, yeah, it's UL versus LSU. This the week right here in both sports, softball and baseball. Softball is in a dogfight right now where UL baseball is they're kind of getting things handed to them right now. Um I think, like you said, Chief, I think going into it, especially when it came to baseball, LSU baseball is one of the top teams in the SEC in the nation. UL is still trying to find themselves as a team, especially after losing as of late. Um, yeah, I just want to see them be more competitive because giving up 9 runs in the first inning, that's just not a great start at all. And I think they just need to pick it up.
Yeah, this is I'm just sharing y'all the screen right now currently so y'all can see what we're looking at here as we do the it's going to be one of the more talked about games during the week. Obviously, this is now notice it is saying UL Lafayette, so Cajun fans, I put it on here. Okay, this is just okay. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, if they're referenced as Louisiana, which is all the athletic media reports that the Cajuns sent out, so we call them Louisiana because that's what they want to be called. And I think if another university has a problem with it, they can go fly a kite basically because you don't over there it's your school. You school the way you want to label your school. That's all I got to say about it. That's like me coming up to Jalen and be like, Jalen, I don't like your name. Let me change. You look like a Christopher to me. So I just changed Jalen's name to Christopher.
That's crazy. It's
Yeah, that's basically the same kind of thing. Am I right though?
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I love the comparison.
It's kind of the same thing almost. I don't like Jalen. Doesn't look like a Jalen to me. He looks like a Christopher. So we're gonna change his name to Christopher.
This is like, come
So
on now.
yeah,
It's like people started calling me Christopher. It's like, come on now, like that's not my name.
yeah. But top of the third right now, the Cajuns look. They've hit the ball. You can look at it right there on the hitting in baseball right now. It's 5 hits to 6 hits. It's not like it's a big like LSU just knocked them out the park with this hitting or whatever. It's just the pitching, like that grand slam by Jared Jones, which they call him Bear. So we've been trying to tweet this as it goes here. See Amade line into a double play doesn't help you out too much there, but the bats for the Cajuns isn't too bad. They got 2 runs on the board, which is kind of typical how to start a game, but giving up 9 runs. The pitching has to show Cajuns. here. I know they got a series win against South Alabama, but you gotta have a consistency to be able to compete for a championship, and this is not what we're seeing with this Raging Cajun baseball team this year. It's just not. Not to give them like any like grief over it, but I mean, you see it. It's a pattern. It's a continuous pattern week after week, and we constantly keep talking about it because I mean, it is very imperative we talk about it to see what's going on. But consistently that way, then it is what it is. You are what you're. I did say that the must-win series was against Emma last week, and they did do that. So, but the series against James Madison here. So if you score, look at it. I'm gonna share the softball screen second here. So I'm gonna switch it over there because that's the more competitive game, and it's kind of interesting so we can see it in the real play here. This will update faster than your that you're going on with ESPN Plus or network. This is going to update faster. They're scoring too, and they're not a little bit delayed here. So this is
Another
what
run added that quick.
6-4. Oh, Macy Bergeron single to left center. Got the RBI there. Mallory Wheeler came out to pitch for Clarion. They were able to get out of the top of the fourth there. So look, 6-4. That this is anybody's game right here. You know they play 7 innings in softball, obviously, but 6-4. That anybody could come swing this year. I mean, look, LSU gave 4 runs to the Cajuns in the bottom of the third, but I think a good response here would be what would be good for the Cajuns here if they beat LSU today, which would be a really big win for this softball team because they did pick up a good weekend series win against you. They normally don't have a good softball team, but they've been pretty good this year. I mean, the RPI is 71 so far. I still think they could have won that series against Marshall, but it just kind of got away from that Friday game, got away from them. So, I mean, if they're able to pull it off against LSU, that RPI, they're going to help them. And they're going to be taking on Colston very good this year. 26-7. RPI of 28 so far. So I think this is a very big series for the Raging Cajuns softball team. Not to draw like any comparisons to like anything here, but this is their biggest series of the year, believe it or not, because this is the highest RPI. If they can get in the series straight up, they're going to be in a very good spot here. If you want to look at the Cajuns live RPI update here, Cajuns are at 51, so they're really on that bubble. You want to talk about to the postseason? Love for them to get in the 40s to be a little bit more, to definitely be more consideration for an at-large here. And you're probably wondering, well, Chief, they're not going to be at an at-large because they play in the Sun Belt and they don't really have a strong schedule. And that's where you would be wrong, my friend. They have a top 25 strength of schedule right now. They are currently ranked 25th in strength of schedule. Non-conference is 20th in strength of schedule. So, and they're 13-11 in non-conference play. So, all that there, like I said before, schedule will make it goes on here. At LSU, they got blown out of the water. They lost 14-0. And now they're competing against them right now. They're being at home and that kind of helps out. But I mean, hey, they're number 3 team in the country here. And I said this many times before. Whenever you listen to us on our LSU podcast stuff, I think this is Beth Tarina's most deep LSU team she's had in God knows how long. I think this LSU softball team is going to make it to OKC at the end of the year. That's my prediction for them here. I think, like I said before, I still believe in the Cajuns will make it to a regional. I don't think they'll make it to Supers this year like I predicted in the preseason. I didn't say they're going to go to the Supers. I said regional, but they are definitely on pace for it, I would say. It just depends on how these games turn out here. That's why I think it's very imperative they win big in this series against Coastal. They could drop this game to LSU. This is going to help out their RPI regardless if they win or lose, but winning here would help them more than losing. What do you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I mean, and you got to think about this too, Chief. The Cajuns, like I said, started out this game 4-0, as everybody can see. So it's kind of like the Cajuns give up these runs, LSU give up these runs. Like I said, LSU, this team is a national championship, strong national championship contender. If the Cajuns can come back and win this game. I know it's close right now. We're still in the bottom of the fourth, but the Cajuns come back and win this game and set themselves up to go to Coastal, and they win these games against Coastal Carolina. They're in the best shape they've probably been all season long when it comes to getting that automatic bid. And that's just me saying if they lose in the Sun Belt tournament. If the turn like I say, if the tournament started uh after this week against Coastal and they lost, and we thinking, okay, how can they get an at-large bid? They come back and beat this LSU team and win in Conway against Coastal. I see this team getting automatic bid.
Yeah, I think if they, I would agree with you there. I think this is imperative because if they were to lose this series like they did against Marshall here, it's going to be a really tough one because you're going to be wondering, okay, what's going on with everything here? Because like this was going to be a down year for the Cajuns, regardless of how you feel about it. They lost a lot to the transfer portal. It wasn't going to be one of those like, yeah, look at what we got here. They lost a lot of players. First of all,
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
I think too, Chief. I think the thing is too. When you lose a head coach and you lose not only players, but you lose a lot of key players, it's hard even the transfer portal to replace those girls. It really is. And I think Allison Habits is doing a great job to say it's her first year and she's winning, these games and putting them in position. Like you said, they have one of the toughest schedules uh outside of teams, is outside the power five. So I mean, I think they're on the right track right now. They just have to keep it going and see how far this team can go this season.
Yeah, like look, she's done a great job. Kayla Falterman gave Allison Habits a big kudos, like saying anybody would want to play for Allison Habits, and she's done a great job. I think since she's been here, kind of weathering the storm here of this tumultuous season. She didn't have time to recruit. The transfer portal was already closed up by the time she even got campus here. If switched over to the other tab, that way y'all can kind of get a score update here, but it's not looking pretty at all here. All right, so I'm sharing the game between Anna and LSU here. So it's 9-2 currently right now, bottom third. First and second, 1 out. It's not like this is just one of those that you can try to hold on for as long as you can, but this might be a good one where you can maybe experiment with your lineup a little bit, start trading the people in because 7 runs is a lot. I know there's a lot of game left to be played here in the bottom of the third, but this ain't looking too good here. I like you see all LSU's hitters are like hitting. Their lowest is Braswell, and he homered. Their 7th, yeah, he already homered. Uh, let's see. Connor Higgs is coming up to bat. Do well for the Cajuns. Carson Hentworth and Connor Cuff so far here. Cuff hasn't been doing too hot this season, so I mean, hitting 127. I mean, you put him there defensively because he's a good defensive player, but I question it sometimes. Maybe you should take him out because I mean he's hitting 127. Me to put you in my lineup, but I know but he's in a shoot slump. 7. I mean, 200. You're hitting like if you go at the bat 5 times, you're gonna hit it. If you have a 200 average, hitting like that. And we've been in this season for a while here. So overall team hitting, Cajuns are 5 of 14, hitting 357 as a team. LSU is 7 out of 15, hitting .467. So LSU's really I think Barrett Jones is at the bat right now. Yeah. Jarrett Jones homered in the first. And he batted twice in the first inning. This is his third time up the bat here. So yeah, third, bottom of the third, you're making trips around the us, that's for sure. So I'm gonna go switch it back here because this is a more competitive game. Number 3 LSU leading Louisiana 6-4. So this is the name thing, okay? And they're probably like, well, you're on the Ragin Cajun one. Yeah, because they actually say the Louisiana thing on here because I think that's what they want to be called. But it's at home. This game right here that you're looking at is at Lamson Park. And this game right here that I'm about to share the tab for is at Alex Box. And this is you can see this is the baseball one. And this one is the softball one. So this one's obviously a closer game here. Wheeler, so they walked. Got a run on first for LSU. Who's coming at the bat? Daniel's coming at the back, and Leno's after that. Then Peterson, and then Hodge. Hodge homered, I think, the last time she came up. So, but a lot of these LSU softball players, you see, they're hitting over 300. 8 out of the 9 players on the batting order have hitting over 300. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I mean, that's I think when it comes to baseball or softball, you have to have some strong hitters on both sides of the ball. Like I said, I think when it comes to, and you're trying to see like, oh, if you're in a slump, why are you, like, you're in the lineup because of defensive purposes. I think it's a good point that you brought up, too, Chief. I think when it comes to lineups when you're losing a game or even when you're winning, because I didn't even think about that till you said it. It's like, especially when the Cajuns right now, when it comes to when in baseball, they're losing right now 9-2, and you're like, and you have made the point like, oh yeah, this is time where you look at your lineup. What can you fix? That's something to think about, because not only will you potentially, I mean, it still come back, don't get me wrong, but potentially right now when you're losing the game, and you look at the softball team right now when they were up 4-0, and then LSU came back 6-4, and you're sitting there like, okay, what's going on? How we allow 6 runs in the fourth inning? You look at these lineups and like, okay, I need to get my big time hitters in here, and my girls is gonna get on base, and yeah, that's just something you have to think about. Lineups, tweaking that defensively. It's a lot that goes into it. But having hitters like the hitting over 300, that not only boosts the team offensively, but that'll set things up defensively too.
A Vasquez, or you're going to be 2, 3, and 4 people coming up for the Cajuns. LSU's that's back. Let's go 8 for sure because they do have 1 out. You can get a double play or something right here to get out. Then that's funny that I say that because the Cajuns would lead the country in double plays turn this season, so that is something to keep an eye on as we keep track of this game here. But yeah, I'll switch it back to the baseball. It's not looking good for the Cajuns here. Again, they walk Barrett Jones, but Dickinson is at the bat here. He hit a double in the first here and got an RBI on that one here. So then you got Frey right there. They basically batted through this lineup already. So Jones has 4 stolen bases on the year. Got caught stealing twice. 66.7% chance of stolen bases for him, but he's not going to be running because they be trying to steal home. The Cajuns, the good for them is they got 2 outs. So if they can just get pop up or something, and they just get 3 outs and try to trim up this lead here, down by 7. So I mean You can't walk this guy though, but it's 1-1-2 count right here. So that's something they're gonna have to keep trying to dig there. Okay, well, and just like I said, pop them up. There you go.
And there we go. Right
Yep,
on cue.
that yep, that's exactly what they need to do right there. Now you gotta try to trim in this lead and not give up any more runs. Because if you give up any more runs, you're basically finished. I want to know what the I know they do these like little averages here, and it hasn't updated yet, but ability for LSU is 9 in baseball. So as softball, because I think LSU 6-4 in the top of the fifth, and they got 81%. That's a probability for LSU here in the top. Let's put LSU got runners on first and second here out. So like I said, this is more important to keep it on to kind of see because they very high RPI in softball. So
Very high.
yeah, it's and the Cajuns really, if they were to win one like out of their games left, because the Cajuns, their next big softball team, RPI wise, they do play him on the road. So if they get like if pull off one of either the LSU, Texas A&M one, that'd be huge. The bigger one is if they can if they were to sweep Coastal, which I don't think they will do. Um, they got a chance to win this series against Coastal, but I don't really. If you look at Coastal, they're 26-7, but they're 3-3 in the Sun Belt, so I don't really know. Their schedule isn't as there. 50 and 70 non and 2 one teams and 5-4 against Coastal. So depending on their Cajuns would be in that quadrant too. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. They did lose 2 out of 3 to Troy. They did win to Texas State. So it's tough to say where they're at because the Cajuns are right in the middle of them both. And it'll be, I mean, they were on the road when they played Troy. So that does add a little bit there. So I'm going to go. I think the Cajuns need to prove something here because I want to see them win on the road. I want the softball team to win on the road. And I think that is something that we can all agree that they need to be able to do. And it'll be a very good thing for them here. So if we're looking at this here, I say they take I'm going to go with it here. I think they're going to have some momentum on their side. I thought this win against LSU or, they're showing some fight here. They definitely play better at home if you look at the softball team for the Cajuns this year. They definitely are a very good at home. I'm worried because if you look at their schedule, that's the Coastal. I'm looking at the wrong team. Look at Utah with Marshall played good. And they took Friday game. We situation here. Some conference still going here that dated back till 2013, but and they would have been fourth in conference. That's something to go see. I think Cajuns. I think they'll win 2 or 3. Give me that's. They got to learn how to win on the road. That is one thing they're gonna have to learn how to do because they're 8 on the road this year, 5 at home. Playing better on the road is what good regional teams do. They go on no matter what they do what you do here. So I'm thinking 2-8. Where in these that's a record that needs to get better. So I think they will. I think this week. And I think too. What you think?
Yeah, I'm agree with you too, Chief. I mean, I feel like that even if they can't come back and win this game against LSU, they're gonna go in Conway and say like, "Hey, we need to go. Coastal's one of the top teams in the Sun Belt. We got to go beat them. And the road record, I think it said that the Cajuns right now are 2-8 on the road. That needs to be fixed, cleaned up, especially now with April coming. So, hey, I think they're gonna take 2 or 3 against Coastal.
I think this is this is the time of year to get hot. If there's any if weather's warming up, this is the time you really got to start showing out because May's gonna be here before we know it. Because this 1 month from literally this date right here, you're looking at conference tournament play and regional pictures and how that's gonna because that's quite quick and because the season ends May 3rd for the Cajuns, so we're looking right at the eyeball here. This is down the home stretch, so you got to make your moves and you got to make them now if you're gonna be in the regionals whenever it comes down to it. So currently LSU has bases loaded 7-4, and they walked Hodge Walker, and yeah, so not good for the Cajuns here. Starting to get away from them a little bit here. They got to start reining it together here. But this softball team, they come back. Like that is one thing about this team. They do not quit. And that is a part of the coaching with Allison Habits. And no matter how bad it's been out there, they do not quit. And that is something that you got to admire about this softball team. So I like that. I like that they never back down from a challenge. But we'll see here. I would predict both these tonight. The softball baseball team. As like I said, I think LSU softball team is gonna make it to OKC. LSU baseball, I'm still not comparing them yet. As as big of a lead they have against the Cajuns right now, I don't trust their pitching in the SEC. My thing, they don't they didn't play at all. That's wax on them. But we're gonna find out what they're made of. They did drop that series in Texas, like I mentioned earlier. But that's something we're gonna see about. Now the Cajuns here, they haven't had pitching all year long. They did get Chase Morgan back the past Friday night against South Alabama, but I mean, they're going against James Madison. I think series. I feel like they'll win that series, especially it being at home. I think they take 2 or 3 against James Madison. What you thinking, Jalen?
Yeah, I think they'll take 2 or 3 against James Madison too. And then I wouldn't even be surprised if the Cajuns were to sweep James Madison. Because like you said,
Oh,
the time to get hot and the time to start winning is right now for both sports, both ball clubs. So I think sending a message for this Cajuns team is like, hey, let's go. We got them at home, we got them at the tee. Let's handle business against James Madison.
yeah, the Cajuns don't really have. Looking at RPI baseball on the baseball side of things here, they don't really have an high RPI, and there is a team in here that I'm about to shock you that they have a higher RPI than LSU, and it's not Troy. I'm not talking about the team they played, the team they have to play. And you're probably wondering, well, what are you talking about, Chief? They're in the Southland. You RG the Vaqueros. They have an RPI of 16, 17, and 5. That's a big weekend. What do you think, Jalen?
Man, so you said 17-5.
Yep, 10 and 10.
I mean, that's man.
The University
I
of Texas, Rio Grande Valley.
I mean, you would think it should be a easier win, but the way I can't say that the way college baseball is right now in general, and just the way the Cajuns have been playing, that's not going to be an easy win. And you look at it too, that's a 2 for 1. They playing that Sunday against Texas State, finishing out that series, and then come in against that Tuesday. That's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna give the Cajuns the win, but it's not gonna be easy as people think.
Let's see. I have. I'm,
That is impressive though.
everybody's
17 and
probably
5,
wondering.
17 and 5.
I've been trying to tweet this. These game processes going on while you've been talking, and it's just so much going on. So I know I'm gonna be a little late on the tweets here, but we've been live, so they're gonna be a little bit behind. Um, did they? Yeah, 9-2. So yeah, that's Jaden Heaver is she's on yeah, she's on the mound for like it's starting to get confusing because I'm like, okay, it's 8-4 softball, but I almost like tweeted like, oh, Ragin Cajun are coming back. LSU lost a run in baseball or something. Because it's like the same. Like it's so hard to keep like driving somebody mad, bro. So yeah, little update just to give y'all here. 9-2. Cajuns are at the bat. They got 2 outs, but they got a runner in scoring position at second here. So like they just got to keep chipping away at it. See, look, wild pitch, runner up second and third. So if the Cajuns can knock in, get a double right here, we got to start inching closer. Like I said, you know, get the bandages out, stop the bleeding as best you can. Just go with it here. But as far as this, if you look at okay, what was I gonna say? So here, I just have real. Look at these rankings here. So this is just to kind of give y'all a snapshot of what we're looking at as we get down into this home stretch here. So 11 and 14, like I said, like we talked about softball, we don't play good on the road. 2 and 6, 3 and 3 so far in conference play, 4 and 6 in the last 10. If you want to start looking at this, committee's going to look at this real good here. How good you are against good competition, and they haven't done well in these two quadrants. Okay. Now you got strength of schedule here, and this is a big one here. They have played a brutal schedule. 9. That is a rough one. 13 here. So good quality competition. Like I said, like that is something that you prepare yourself for when you get into postseason play, and that's exactly what you expect here. So yeah, I'm thinking here, if you look at the Cajuns here and want to know why they're doing here, this is a good indicator what you got going on here. I just think that the Cajuns are going to see what happens here. I think that I think this weekend, I think they'll take 2 or 3. They're battle tested, which is a good thing here. So I was wondering how bad the pitching was for the Cajuns, but I think they handled themselves well. Because right here, like I mean, they gave it 3. So that game they gave it 3. So if the bats come alive, I think against higher quality teams, I don't think this baseball team is going to make it to regionals. So I just don't see it unless they win. They get on a good run in the tournament, and that's just the way it is. I'm gonna stop sharing. We're gonna go back on camera here. But yeah, I think that's how I got the baseball series going here. I just don't. I think they'll take 2 or 3 though against James Madison, and I got the same thing for softball. I think they're gonna start winning in their on the road. Both these teams really need to learn how to win on the road. What do you think, Jalen?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, and it's just you you're not gonna make it. First of all, you're not gonna make it far in your conference tournaments without winning on the road. But especially if you make it to the big dance, yeah, you have to win games on the road. That's when the tough games are. Tough, those road games determine how resilient or how great of a team you are. So both teams have to pick it up because it's just, yeah, both are really struggling on the road. But it can't anything can change between now and May though.
like, hey, guess what I was talking about, Jay? Get a little bit at a time. 9-4.
Hey,
Baseball team, yeah, like
don't
you can't get it all back in one inning. I mean, get 9 runs in a inning is very hard to do anyway. So inching it a little bit closer, 9-4. That's what you want right there. You want a little bit at a time here, and it's starting to chip away at that lead a little bit here. But you don't want them to score any more runs, like as mentioned before. It just becomes a lot because it's gonna be tough on you for sure whenever you get down to it. So Jalen, do you have any okay, so they popped up. So do you have any anything you want to say before we get off of here?
I just want to say, Cajun Nation, everybody keep having faith in Louisiana baseball and Louisiana softball. Like we talked about, both teams are do struggle on the road, and they both are losing right now to LSU. But just because they're losing right now, that doesn't mean that the season's over. You still have plenty more games to go. So keep supporting, and we're just gonna see how it turns out for both teams.
Yeah, but here's a score update for softball. I mean, it was looking real promising, then it just got real bad lately. 11-4. Nothing to hold your head about. You're playing against number 3 team in the country too. Like I've alluded to this several times when talking about um, LSU and that kind of ordeal here. They are they're going to be going to OKC. I mean, they beat Georgia in a series and they beat Kentucky. I mean, they are a very, very good soft team this year. They're loaded this year. They beat Georgia last week, so that's just one thing that you're just going to adapt to. So that is something, and just see what, because this is something that teams here, and this is something that you prepare for in the regional here. So it's never fun to get like just beaten pretty bad here. 6-5. I mean, that's really hard to come back from. But see, you got to stop the bleeding. Like I said, in both games here, they both got the same amount of runs, but the softball team's got a little bit more catching up to do compared to the baseball team currently right now when you're looking at both of them. But because bottom fourth baseball is down 9-4 to LSU, softball down 11-4 to LSU and softball. So we'll see how this goes here. We'll update it on our socials. You'll keep track here. We're gonna have some highlights from these games here as soon as we get them here. Because I mean, we cover both these teams. Nobody out there covers these teams, and we know both these teams very well. So we watch them all the time throughout the year. So that's just one thing that we do, and that's what we're supposed to do here. So thank y'all for tuning into this episode here at the Fishbowl Sports Radio here. This has been a interesting episode here. We've seen the highs and the lows, and that's just the way it goes. So thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you have a great and wonderful day here, and we'll see y'all here next time on the Fishbowl Radio. Let me get on cam so I can give y'all actually a proper goodbye instead of being this hiding behind the screen. Thank y'all for tuning in here to the Fishbowl Sports Radio. Hope you have a great and wonderful day, and I'll see y'all next time here on the Fishbowl Sports Radio. Have a good night.